of you lot, I give you our champion!
What?
Congratulations, Ogre. You've won the honor of embarking on a great and noble quest.
What kind of quest?
Questing is a time-honored tradition in gaming, harking back to an era of pen and paper adventures. What's that, Farmer Eustace? Boars have been eating up all your Brussels sprouts and you need me to call their numbers? Quest accepted. Yes, dragon friend? You want pine cone soup but your knee is injured? Quest accepted. An infestation of beetles in your jungle? Quest accepted.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Joking aside, I've been leveling a character through the latest World of Warcraft expansion, Dragonflight, and the questing experience has been quite pleasant. Don't get me wrong, there are still plenty of hunt for this or gather that types of crusades.
You need something?
But they managed to break up some of the tedium with storytelling moments involving NPCs, which felt a lot like a movie that allows you to breathe and take it all in. Moments like this, where you're riding along with a tribe of centaurs as they weave stories about their past hunts and involvement with dragons. Or when you're asked to be part of a funeral for the former chief of a native Tuskar village. These are fantastic occasions and really aid in attaching you to the world you're participating in. And I think attachment is a good word to use here when trying to articulate the importance of storytelling. Across my journey, I came upon two very specific quests that I would like to highlight. Both, coincidentally, take place in the same area of map and have a similar feeling of deep history and personal trauma that the NPCs are trying to navigate in their old age. Viridistraz is a dragonkin taking the form of a dwarf.
Great to meet you.
You come upon him sitting alone on the edge of a platform, overlooking a magnificent view of the land you have just been exploring and questing. If you open a dialogue with him, your character will sit and listen as Viridistraz doesn't so much weave a tale about his life as he does talk about memories and recall feelings from a time in the past. He is conversing in a way that doesn't require anyone to actually be there, but he does appreciate you lending an ear as he works through what is troubling him. The majority of the quest proceeds in this manner of listening, asking a question, and listening. It's a poignant juncture because up until this point, you have been putting out one fire or another while attempting to absorb as much history as you can about dragons, their people, and their storied history within Azeroth. So having a minute to slow down, actually listen, and maybe even relate to what is being said is, in my opinion, great storytelling. Before we move on, I did want to touch on one point in the conversation that really stuck out to me. These two lines. I know this character is explicitly talking about their own fears and feelings of loss prior to returning home, but I can't help that it also mirrors the signs of getting old and losing pieces of yourself that used to feel so strong. Whether intended or not, I found it heartbreaking, but I also felt appreciative that a game could elicit these feelings from me. Duraz's Scalebreaker
Dabu
is a remorseful tale as seen through the lens of himself, a friend, and a stranger. It's another quest where our character takes more of a back seat, listening and offering aid when applicable. Everyone ages. Some more graceful than others, and some carry more trauma than others into the latter part of their life. Our elderly friend has been internalizing what he has done in his past to dragonkind. a war vet that may or may not have done things he is now wishing had never happened in the first place. Quest asking you to understand what it means to age with a burden so heavy that you don't feel you deserve forgiveness. Originally, I thought the quest ended at a specific point, but it wasn't until I was leveling a new character that I realized Duraz's story continues a little while later. I won't give away spoilers in case you haven't experienced this yet, but do yourself a favor and remember to check in on these two. This is a fantastic example of engaging the player and sharing the story of one character that is only affecting a select few, almost insignificant. Much like most of us in our daily lives, we will go unheard by the majority of the world, but that doesn't mean that our lives are insignificant to everyone. Now, bringing this back to what this has to do with quests, as someone who hasn't read World of Warcraft novels and missed out on 6 expansions worth of lore, it's quests like these that help me feel more attached to the world and story of Azeroth. I find it more effective for world building to learn from interactive storytelling with quests like these than it is to learn from reading a random book you found on a dusty floor. I was being asked to care about characters and their stories that hardly affect the big picture, and you know what? I did care, and in doing so, I felt more attached to the world and its inhabitants, more so than any amount of fetch or hunting quests have ever done for me. So, thank you to whomever wrote these, and I hope you're able to add more in time.